Talking with the experts.
Suriani Hostetler discusses how to use financial insights to grow your business in episode 297.
Yes, you still need the oversight and of accountant to set up and to know the configuration and whether, sometimes computers are what you put in and you get out, right? You have to have the oversight and the expertise. But however, the things that you can do yourself in your company, there's many more things that you can do before a professional can step in and use that data to bring you to a higher level. And the higher level, is the implementation of your reports, where the output, you can rely on the output because all the pieces going in are reliable, accurate, and timely. The monitoring, and this is what I call like the controllership, is bookkeeping is the very basic, and that's a lot to do with that. But once you hone it and refine it, you get to higher level, which is the controllership, which is seeing the controls, seeing the process. Is the process working correctly? Are your team on board with what's being done? Is everyone on the same page? Are the policies and procedures, are they laid out properly so that somebody new comes in, you don't have to teach the person all over again. You can just say, oh, go into this folder or whatever it may be that you use and read it. And yes, they'll have questions, but it minimizes having to train them. So those are the controllership part where it monitors the pieces of the bookkeeping.
Welcome to Talking with the Experts. This is where we discuss great ideas to take your business to the next level. How do we know these ideas work? Well, it's because we're talking with business owners who are using these ideas. Business owners who have years of experience and expertise. All things business by business owners for business owners. And now, here is your host, Rose Davidson.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. I'm your host, Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners. You can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. Now, let me ask you, do you know how to read your financial insights to grow your business? What are they? Why are they important? How can a business develop robust financial systems, and how a strong financial system can generate accurate and reliable financial insights? And you can learn also how an outsourced financial team can boost a business towards growth. My next guest, Suriani Hostetler, will be able to explain all of those things for you tonight. And Suriani is the CEO and founder of Streamline Accounting Services based in Connecticut in the US. She helps entrepreneurs and small businesses grow and scale their business by developing strong financial systems. She does this by providing an outsourced finance team to help with bookkeeping, accounting, financial forecasting, and cash management. By developing strong financial systems, her team help businesses tap into the wealth of insights gained from their systems and use these pivotal knowledge to grow and scale. Welcome, Suriani. Suriani, thank you so much for joining me. Sorry, I've got a bit tongue-tied then.
It's okay. Thank you, Rose.
You're
My
very
pleasure.
welcome. So how
Thank you
can
very much.
a business have really good financial systems, and what are they, and how can they build a business up?
Well, when I say streamline financial systems to gain financial insights, I think I should break it down to make it clearly understandable. Streamline financial systems is one, and financial insights is the output. Obviously, when you streamline financial systems, the financial systems can be many, many things. Every single business, no matter if it's a bakery or insurance company, have some kind of financial system, be it pencil and paper at a very basic, or Excel spreadsheets, or the very robust accounting software that we see today. Every single business has a financial system. Whether or not they attend to it or nurture it is a different matter. So when you have a financial system, if you streamline all the pieces together to get that output, that's when you have that robust reliable data that is the financial insight. And what do we do with the financial insight? Obviously, the better the financial insight, the better able we are to use that to make the decision making. Obviously, we might have, you know, there's no right or wrong decision. Obviously, it's up to the judgment of the business owner. But the better the data is, and the better able you are to make decisions from the data, the better able the outcome for your business. You can grow and scale your business to new heights. So it starts with the financial system, like I said, streamlining the pieces together. And there's so much that can be said about it, obviously, but I have like very, very quick, big, huge, one of the 2 or 3 huge things that one can do to streamline their financial system and make it work so that you can have the output, which is the robust financial data.
Yep. Well, would you like to share those with us?
Sure, yes, definitely. So at the very basic, financial system starts with record keeping. We all know you got to record the cash in, cash out in a very simple business, let's say. So in order to do that, you have to set aside a system, you have to develop a system, a bookkeeping system. And one of the things, and I'm looking at the contemporary practice now of record keeping, I would say the biggest thing that a business owner, in order to jump on board of what's going on, is to automate and to integrate. Automate meaning that if I say go paperless, it's true, but obviously we can't 100% go paperless. We can as much as we can, but there are suppliers that might not. We might be paid paperless, but our suppliers might not be. They might still be sending paper invoice, but that's okay. You can at least do as much as you can on your end. So let's say you got the hard copy from the very basic hard copy from somebody else, a supplier. You can send your own invoicing, could be on a soft copy, they call it, which is from a computer base. Your agreements can be that. You can set up an approval process within your company itself that is made up of electronic format. There are things like DocuSign, and I'm just quoting a few, that can make the approval like e-signature and things like that. You can make that as automate as possible on your end. So even if the other party isn't completely all that, that's okay. You can work with what you have in your own system to automate. That's one thing you can do. And another thing is the integration has to do with other things that you can do within one system. In other words, you pay your invoices or you bill your customers, make it all in one system instead of disparate things. For example, I have some clients that maybe require me to, it's called bill management or expense management, require me to pay their bills instead of going to 4 or 5 different websites to pay their expenses. Have an integration into the accounting system so that it can all be done in one system. That is efficiency right there. There are, again, like these days, there's so much out there, so many avenues that you can choose to do that. You can have, and again, I'm just quoting a few, bill.com or some other payment system that integrate with your accounting software. So right in the accounting software itself, you can pay your bills, you can send your invoices, you can manage inventory, you can set up recurring payments so that if you forget because you're a busy business owner, it can tap you on like, hey, this thing is due, or, and obviously the more you do it inside the system, I know from QuickBooks Online perspective, which is the one of the leaders of accounting software. In QuickBooks Online, for example, or QuickBooks, any QuickBooks system, there's reminders, for example, and it learns once you set it up, after a while, it learns your patterns and it helps out. So it categorize transaction, for example, it would know that, oh, this usually goes to this. Obviously, there has to be a human element because it's not always, standard case, but there has to be an human element of it. But the element of manual data entry is not there anymore. And I still see like a lot of businesses still use that manual data entry. And bookkeeping, no wonder bookkeeping is so tedious. People don't favor doing bookkeeping because they think it's this tedious task. But if you automate and integrate, the biggest thing, it cuts down a lot of the manual entry. You have to be there, yes. There has to be the human element of you have to train your team to be able to monitor it. But at least at the the basic data that maybe 40, 50 years ago is gone. And it's so much easier to do the higher level things that can streamline. That's what I mean, streamlining. The process has to start on a good foundation in order for you to streamline it. And the good foundation, I mean, is the data. Make the data come in your system in as efficient and time effective way as possible. That's one thing.
I hate bookkeeping. I've always hated it. I'm not a numbers person. So I take my hat off to anyone who's an accountant or a bookkeeper or a financial advisor. All of those people get kudos from me because, this bookkeeping numbers are just not my thing.
Oh, I understand, and it's not for everyone. However, if you I don't know what system you have, but like I said, if you have it as much as automation and integration as possible, it might not be as tedious, because I see a lot of smart, brilliant business owners, as I'm sure you are too, do not feel that bookkeeping is something they can do, but they can. I mean, I'm not saying, yeah, the accounting knowledge,
they can do it. They just
professional.
choose not to because
Yeah.
it's tedious and it's boring, and you're either
Absolutely
numbers
understandable.
focused or you're not.
Yes, you still need the oversight and of accountant to set up and to know the configuration and whether, sometimes computers are what you put in and you get out, right? You have to have the oversight and the expertise. But however, the things that you can do yourself in your company, there's many more things that you can do before a professional can step in and use that data to bring you to a higher level. And the higher level, I mean, is the implementation of your reports, where the output, you can rely on the output because all the pieces going in are reliable, accurate, and timely. The monitoring, and this is what I call like the controllership, is bookkeeping is the very basic, and that's a lot to do with that. But once you hone it and refine it, you get to higher level, which is the controllership, which is seeing the controls, seeing the process. Is the process working correctly? Are your team on board with what's being done? Is everyone on the same page? Are the policies and procedures, are they laid out properly so that somebody new comes in, you don't have to teach the person all over again. You can just say, oh, go into this folder or whatever it may be that you use and read it. And yes, they'll have questions, but it minimizes having to train them. So those are the controllership part, where it monitors the pieces of the bookkeeping, the process and procedure, and the audit. There's an audit log of what was being done. If something goes wrong, like it always does, even with an automated system, when something goes wrong, you can easily tap into the audit trail, or the troubleshooting is so much easier. So that's the controllership. And now I get into the financial insight, where on the other end, when everything is streamlined as best as you can with all those controls and process and procedures, guess what? The financial insights right there. It can, in the best system, it can jump off the page. You print out a financial report straight away, you can see. And again, it's not always perfect, but you want to be able to get to the end, which is you get those insights that you can clearly, you have that assurance that, yeah, my numbers are pretty good. I can make decisions out of it. It's like looking at a report. If your numbers aren't good, you can't even attempt to make any decision. But you wanted to get to the point where, yeah, my numbers are good because all the other stuff is in place, the work that you've done. And it's tedious. I get it. I understand it takes work, but the process, if it works well, is beautiful, and you can get to the end and you can scale to new heights with those financial insights. Anything is possible with that.
I agree. I do agree with that totally. I mean, you have to know your numbers if you're going to, grow your business, basically. But for someone who's just starting out, so just a newbie, they may have been in business or just starting their business and may just use an Excel spreadsheet, for instance. How can they, you know, better manage that and better automate it? Because that, to me, is the tedious part, is putting all the data into a spreadsheet, you know, every week or every month, whatever, you know, the case may be. So is there a way or a simple system app or a program that's, you know, relatively low cost that can do that for you?
I would strongly urge Excel is great only to a point of the person entering the information. Obviously, sometimes we are all humans, right? We think we're entering the right information, but it's not. And it's not integrating with other parts of your whole system. I would strongly urge to get on board an accounting software. Granted, that's a monthly subscription or whatever it may be. It's so much paid off with the automation is one thing. You can connect your bank right there. For example, your operational, that your bank would connect to your accounting software, and it would download all the transactions right there. So that's a huge thing, taking off from your manual entry. And you can start from there, from a cash basis or accrual basis. Maybe this is getting more accounting based, but I would say a small business usually starts on a cash basis. What it means is it's recording its financials in cash in, cash out, like whatever cash that they get will be revenues, whatever cash they pay out will be expenses. Very basic level. The bank fee would be the ultimate source of data. So that itself is like the bank fee is right there. You connect, everything goes in. Then obviously that's the process of assimilating, categorizing. You can look at your expenses, and this is where also it cuts down from the tediousness of the Excel spreadsheet. When your bank fee comes in, you can look at all your downloaded data already, and you can start to take a step back and get to know you yourself would know your business more intimately. You know where your money, let's say, for example, for simplicity's sake, let's say a bakery, right? You would know where your costs are. Your costs are the items to produce the bakery, and the revenue is people buying those bakery items. So you can look at all those costs that comes through the bank and say, oh yes, I paid so and so for this, for bread, for butter, or whatever it is. And that classification stays. Once you classify it, the very beginning might be a little bit tedious, I understand. But once you set the categories, every time it comes down from you bought the same thing from the same supplier, you categorize, it's already set, so that so much of those minute manual stuff you did before, it's already, the QuickBooks Online, for example, would already categorize it. Obviously, you have to go in and have an oversight, because sometimes things change, right? You change suppliers or whatever, and you buy other stuff from the same supplier that's not necessarily bread and butter, but something else, right? But I can't tell you how much less the manual input is. And when it's automated like that, when it's categorized correctly, and when you know who you're paying, let's say you're paying customers, and there's a customer accounts receivable function where you match the payment to what comes in. When they come to you and say, how much do I owe you? Where are my statements? You send them the statement, it's accurate. You could see that all the payments are reconciled and reconciled to what they pay you, and it's up to date. And you might have somebody in your team, it's not all on you, obviously, as a business owner. You want to run your business, you leave these tasks to people that you train. So, like for a junior bookkeeper or an outsourced bookkeeper, whatever that you use, would do all the categorizing, would do the manual entry, the reconciling and whatnot, the matching the customer payments. When it comes out, you would see the reports that clearly reflect your expenses, your profit and loss, balance sheet, and cash flow. The three main statements would clearly reflect what you paid out and what you gain in terms of revenues, the expenses, and you can recategorize, you can tweak it to, at the end of the month, consistent monitoring is key as well.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. I mean, I used to run a business. I owned a retail food business for 10 years, and that that's where I found my distaste for numbers.
I
But yeah,
understand.
I do agree. I mean, we couldn't run the business if we didn't know how much money we had in the bank, because, you know, the checkbook was, you know, wasn't always the accurate thing, because you know, there may have been fees, or there may have been an expense that came out that we'd forgotten about, or whatever. So having an accurate accounting system, you are right, it is key
Exactly.
to running a great business.
And you know, the good news to you is, and for people who hate numbers, the more you want, is funny because people who hate numbers would stay away from, but exactly the opposite. The more you attend to it, the less time you need to devote on things that you don't want to do. And understandably, you want to put things in place so that it's quicker evaluation every month. When things are run smoothly, yes, you need to monitor it much more frequently, but the time span is so short. You just take a look, okay, everything's great, everything's running good, my reports look good, I have confidence, okay, let's move on to something else. So it's the opposite from versus running away. If you monitor it, then you don't have to deal with it. You don't have to do too much about it.
Absolutely.
Less time. Yes.
Yeah. So I guess, you know, if you really don't want to do it yourself, you obviously can outsource it to a bookkeeper or an accounting agency, or you know, someone like yourself. So you know, how would someone go and find someone that, you know, that they can work with? Do they go and make an appointment with them and sit down with them to, you know, to see if they're a good fit?
I would suggest, and I don't know how the procedure is in where you live, but I would think there might be some universal procedures in choosing an accountant, a standard procedure. You would, with the information that you can get from the place, the outsourced provider, you can obviously, you do your own research, and depending on what business you have, maybe you want someone with a specialized niche, like somebody who knows your business is one thing. Somebody who has the background in accounting, a robust background in accounting that can handle different types of clients, and particularly your type of business is one thing. I would say do your research, word of mouth. If you have a networking group, or as a business owner, I'm sure you're connected to so many, like I myself, I have a big network of wonderful people I can tap on. Ask them, like, who do you use for bookkeeper? And some people might not have a good experience with some of them, and they change to somebody else and find a better experience. Just ask, you know, do your research, ask somebody that knows, an outsourced provider that knows your niche is always a great thing, especially if you're a specialty that needs someone to know that. But if you're just starting with a bookkeeper, an outsourced bookkeeper or accountant, I would say the background, you know, check the person's background, make sure the person is established, have at least a few years doing clients' books is one thing, and word of mouth. Yeah,
yep, good
tips.
tips.
Good referrals, people that you trust in your bookkeeping network. I mean, I'm sorry, in your business network. Ask people that you trust who have a good experience with a provider, outsourced provider. So start from there as well.
Yep, terrific stuff. Suriani, where can people find you if they wanted to work with you or to find out more?
Sure. My website is www.sharplineaccountingservices.com. And don't know, will I be able to put the info in?
Yeah, it'll be in the show notes anyway, so
Okay,
I've got your details here. So, and they can find you on LinkedIn, and they can find you on Facebook on your business page, which is Sharpline Accounting Services. Yep, terrific.
And my email.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I'll be happy to answer any questions, and at least give some ideas on where a business owner might help. My target audience are mainly small to medium businesses, maybe just starting out, or maybe 2 or 3 years doing their own bookkeeping and find out their business is growing and they can't handle it anymore. And that's the pain point there. And you want someone else to delegate it to someone else when your business is growing.
Yeah. Good idea. Suriani, do you have any words of wisdom that you'd like to share? Some tip or some, bit of something that people can reflect on and take away with?
Sure. I would say, and I'm putting myself in the shoes of a entrepreneur or a small business owner. I would say if you tap into what you want your business to look like, I would think everybody goes into business for financial freedom and flexibility, and so that they can live the life that they want to live, right? Nobody wants to slog through day in, day out doing work, right? You want that freedom. If you tap into your dream of financial freedom and you look at your financial system as the key, one of the biggest tickets that can get you there, then you're more able to have the mindset that you need to nurture it. It's just like with anything, like a plant, you need to water it, you need to nurture it. And that is by doing the legwork, putting the pieces together. It's laborious sometimes, yes, but it doesn't have to be, because once you put all the systems in place, the results gonna speak for itself. So start with your visualizing. What do you want your business to look like? You want it to grow, you want it to scale, you want to do what you're passionate about, what you have the talents and skills. So make sure that your financial system will be able to help you get there. It really is the key towards you being able to grow and scale your business, the business that you love, that you want to grow and be more fulfilled about.
Great advice. Absolutely perfect advice. Thank you,
you.
Suriani, for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure
pleasure
getting to know you. I hope we can chat again sometime soon.
Yes, thank you for having me here. Bye.
You've been listening to Talking with the Experts, hosted by Rose Davidson. Make sure you have a look at our back catalogue over at talkingwiththeexperts.com. And be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any episode. We look forward to your company next time. Talking with the Experts.